Hello and good evening students, and welcome back to Global Online Platform. This is Chandni Swarnikar, and today we are going to cover language and pedagogy. So this is going to be our last lecture on this particular unit. Okay, you can get my lectures at 9 PM on a daily basis. बट वीडियो में आगे बढ़ने से पहले मैं आपको बता देती हूँ, दिसंबर एग्जाम में JRF लेने के लिए स्मार्ट प्रिपरेशन करना होगा. उसके लिए ग्लोबल ऑनलाइन आपके लिए लेकर आए हैं इंग्लिश लिटरेचर का कंप्लीट कोर्स, जिसमें आपको वीडियो लेक्चर्स मिलेंगे, जिसमें शॉर्ट एंड स्मार्ट वे के साथ आपके सारे कॉन्सेप्ट क्लियर हो जाएंगे. इसके साथ ही आपको फिर सिलेबस PDF नोट्स प्रोवाइड कराए जाएंगे, जो कि आप अपने मोबाइल लैपटॉप पर डाउनलोड करके पढ़ सकते हो. उसके साथ आपको मॉक टेस्ट मिलेंगे, जिसे एज इट इज क्वेश्चन एग्जाम में पूछे जाते हैं. ये मॉक टेस्ट आपके फाइनल प्रिपरेशन में बहुत हेल्प करता है. तो गिवन कॉन्टैक्ट नंबर पर कॉन्टैक्ट करके आप इसे ज्वाइन कर सकते हो. और सबसे अच्छी बात इस कोर्स की ये है दैट यू आर गोइंग टू गेट कंप्लीट पेपर 1 कोर्स फॉर फ्री, सो यू आर सेविंग 3600 रुपीज़ हियर. ना फ्री वीडियोस के एक्सेस के लिए जो है आप ग्लोबल ऑनलाइन ऐप को फटाफट डाउनलोड कर सकते हो. सर्च सेक्शन पे जाओगे, स्टोर सेक्शन पे बेसिकली जाना है. सारे कोर्सेज की जानकारी यहाँ से आपको मिल जाएगी. सर्च बार में जा करके डायरेक्टली कोर्स का नाम लिखोगे तो कोर्स का ओवरव्यू आपके सामने आ जाएगा. इसकी ड्यूरेशन, इसकी फीस, सब कुछ आपको मिल जाएगी. कंटेंट सेक्शन पे क्लिक करते हो तो आपको फोल्डर वाइज, यूनिट वाइज जो है फोल्डर अवेलेबल मिलेंगे. हर एक यूनिट में थ्योरी लेक्चर्स, वैल्यूएशन, नोट्स, मॉक टेस्ट और MCQs आपको मिलेंगे. इसके अलावा कुछ भी आपको पढ़ने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. इसके साथ अगर आप ग्लोबल ऑनलाइन पेज कोर्स को ज्वाइन करते हो तो आपको व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप में भी ऐड किया जाएगा, जहाँ पे हर एक सेशन की PDF आप लोगों के साथ में प्रोवाइड कराई जाएगी. ओके, नाउ लेट्स स्टार्ट विथ Pidgin. Now, do understand what is Pidgin? Let's read the definition first, okay? Then I'll explain it to you. So, Pidgin is a simplified form of language that combines elements from multiple languages or uses simplified grammar and vocabulary. So, see, if you're speaking English, okay, there's a standard language of English. There is so many words you use in a standard way, standard vocab you use, right? So Pidgin is a simplified form of language. Even if you're talking about English, it's a simplified one. You use simple sentences, simple words, not the standard words, not the very dictionary kind of words. Okay, so you are using the simple words, and it's a simplified form of language that combines elements from multiple languages. So it combines what? It combines from elements from multiple languages or uses simplified grammar and vocab. Okay, it's often used for communication between speakers of different native languages. So if the person, if just imagine you and your friends are discussing and you guys are not from the same background, okay, you guys are having different native languages, right? So at that moment of time we'll create a language that can be helpful for you guys, right? So that is Pidgin. It's not a very full fledged language, but it's a simplified form. That's it. Now example, me go market yesterday, I buy plenty banana. So while reading this, and if you say this na, somebody who does not know English, even though they will get it, what do you want to say? Okay, they don't have to know the proper English or grammatical rules to understand this sentence, right? So in this sentence, me stands for I, go stands for went, and plenty stands for a lot. Okay, so I went market yesterday, I bought plenty of or a lot of bananas, right? So banana means the same as in standard English. So that is Pidgin. It's not a full-fledged language. It's just a simplified form of language where you use if you are not very fluent or not a native person who have having different native languages, right? So that is called Pidgin. Now moving on, Creole. Okay, so Creole basically it is very different from Pidgin because it's a full-fledged and a stable, fully developed natural language hoti hai ye. Okay, so a Creole language is a stable. It's like Pidgin. When you will talk about Pidgin, then there will be Creole. Okay, Hierarchically, it will be in the top, on the top, okay. So fully developed natural language that has evolved from a mixture of different languages. It's evolved from a mixture of different languages. Creoles typically emerge in multilingual communities where people are multilingual, okay, often as a means of communication between people who don't share a common native language. For example, I have just told you that, just imagine you and your friends are living or hanging together. You guys don't have a common native language. You will create a language, right? You will try to communicate in a way so that with a particular language, so that if you are using a stable language but different from the standard ones, that is Creole, okay. So people who don't share a common native language, for example, Manglish, Malaysian plus English, okay. So you'll see the combination of Malaysian and English language. Singlish, where you can see Singaporean and English. Taglish, Tagalog and English, okay. So I hope things are clear. Now code switching. So it happens almost all the time. If you are if you're not very fluent in English, you'll find yourself hanging in this kind of situation where you switch, okay. So code switching is a practice of alternating between two or more languages, dialects within a single conversation or communication. For example, just imagine you're speaking English. You're not a very fluent one. You're trying to speak, so you will not find exact words to convey your message, right? So you'll switch to your own language. For example, कल मैंने एक न्यू बुक परचेज किया था. It's a really interesting story. So this is the English sentence, right? But meanwhile you have also used कल मैंने एक न्यू बुक परचेज किया था. Maybe you were not able to form the sentence properly, so you use your own language, right? Your mother tongue. So कल मैंने एक न्यू बुक परचेज किया था. It's a really interesting story. Translation would be, yesterday I bought a new book. It's a really interesting story. Okay, so this is an example of code switching. When you switch. Now backformation. What is backformation? For example, when you remove an affix from an existing word, like there's a word. For example, editorial is a word. Okay, so you just remove the affix, okay, from this one, and you are creating a new word. That is actually backformation. Editor. Backformation is editor. Let's see the definition. Backformation is a process in linguistics where a new word is creating by removing an affix. You are removing an affix and creating a new word, right, from an existing word. This can lead to the formation of a new word that appears to be the base or root of the original word. Okay, so for example, editorial is the original word and we are using the backformation here, so that would be editor, right? Now moving on, cognate. What is cognate? See, cognates basically talks about different languages that share a common origin or common ancestral language. Just imagine, let's talk about cousins. Okay, we must have cousins. So let's talk about cousins. So have you ever heard that you look like your cousins? Your cousins look like you guys look the same, right? So many people notice and so many people say this to us. So that is an example, a very good example of cognate, because we share a common ancestral background, right? So, and common origin we have. So because of that we share similar something common or something similar, right? Now, so cognates are words in different languages that share a common origin, typically derived from a common ancestral language. They often have similar meanings and similar forms. For example, the English word mother, right, is a cognate of the German word Mutter. Both mean the same. Okay, both have the same meaning. Mother is a cognate of the German word Mutter, and both holds the same meaning. The other example is pater, right? The Latin word pater and the English word father have undergone phonetic changes, but they are still cognates, right? So they mean the same. They have the same meaning. Moving on. Now this is it, and we don't need to go further with this basic terms of linguistics and pedagogy. You don't need to. We'll discuss cultural studies in our upcoming lectures. Thank you so much, and whatever I've taught you, do revise and try to re-revise it. Okay, thank you.